France becomes the first country to make abortion a constitutional right. France made a historic decision to make abortion a constitutional right. This makes France the world's first country to explicitly state abortion rights in the Constitution. Abortion is widely accepted in France and has been legal since 1975. However, previous developments in the U.S. raised concerns about the topic. In 2022, Roe v. Wade, a ruling which had legalized abortion in the U.S. in 1973, was overturned. This means now each state in the U.S. can make abortion illegal again. The overturn led to appeals for more security for abortion rights in France, which in turn resulted in the change. The change makes abortion a basic human right, protecting it from easy changes by future governments. It is also expected to promote safe and legal abortion services. This move is viewed as a giant leap toward protecting women's reproductive rights in France and around the world. It sends a clear message that women have the right to control their bodies.
Welcome to English for You. I'm Adam.
And I'm Elsie.
Well, in the past few months, everyone, and Elsie, there have been some controversial news out there.
Oh, what is it about?
Well, it's about abortion.
You're right. I've seen a lot of news stories about this subject. Well, why don't you tell us what it is happening now?
Well, I'll tell us the title of our article and then we can dive a little bit deeper into this controversial subject.
Sure.
Our title is France Becomes the First Country to Make Abortion a Constitutional Right. It starts off by saying, France made a historic decision to make abortion a constitutional right. There, everyone, we see the word historic. And historic is very important in history, famous or significant in history. An example we could use using that word would be the signing of the peace treaty was a historic event.
Historic 这个字你看到的时候就会知道它跟历史相关。好，它是一个形容词，指的是具有历史意义的，或是历史上著名或是重要的。那法国做了一项这个历史意义的决定，就是将堕胎 abortion 好这个权利写入宪法当中。所以 abortion 指的是堕胎这件事情，好，它是个名词。那 constitution 这个名词是宪法。你在字尾加上 al constitutional 那就是合乎宪法的，所以 constitutional right 指的就是宪法上面的权利哦。那这边我们看到了今天的 language in focus. Let's take a look. 在今天的 language in focus 当中，我们要看到的是主词加上 make 再加上受词以及受词补语的用法。那受词补语呢，可以是名词或是形容词。这个句型当中的不完全及物动词 make 它的意思是使得或是使成为，那因为是个及物动词，所以 make 后方必须要接上受词，那也因为它不完全，所以呢还需要加上有受词补语，对受词加以补充说明，才可以让这个句意表达完整。那受词补语刚刚说到过，好，可以是名词或是形容词。那给同学们一个例句咯。For example, the teacher made the homework easy for the students. 好，这边的主词当然就是这个老师。Made 就是我们的不完全及物动词，然后受词是 the homework， 后方的形容词用到的是 easy 这个字。好，所以这整句话在说的是老师为了学生，好，让这个功课变得比较简单。那再来第二个例句是 The coach made the team champions 啊，这边后方加上就是名词冠军 champions， 整句话指的是呢，这个教练让这整个团队变成了冠军。
This is historic because our article tells us this makes France the world's first country to explicitly state abortion rights in the Constitution.
explicitly 这个副词指的是明确地，所以这让法国成为世界第一个将对堕胎权明确写入宪法的国家。那 state 这个字呢，在这边是个动词，指的是陈述或是说明。
So it's giving abortion rights. It's allowing it to happen in their constitution. Following up with that, it says, abortion is widely accepted in France and has been legal since 1975. Everyone, there we see the word legal, and legal is an adjective. It's allowed by law. So an example using the word legal would be, it is legal to drive a car if you have a license.
Legal 这个形容词呢是合法的。那如果你要让某件事情合法化，使合法化的这个动词呢，就是在 legal 的字尾加上 ize 变成 legalize， 好，这样就可以了。那再来呢 legal 我们说是合法的，那非法怎么办？我们就在字首加 il illegal， 好，那就是非法的。所以堕胎权自从1975年起就在法国是合法的，而且被广为接受。So what do you think about this? And how's the situation in the US? 那美国呢？
Well, it's a good question, and it's a very big issue in the US. I mean, a lot of people are very against abortion, and a lot of people are for it. So a term we could say is that it's a very hot topic. So if you guys are eating dinner or as a family, we would never really talk about this at the dinner table because there could be 2 people or 3 people that disagree with your opinion, and it can get really heated, we say. So a lot of people could get angry about this.
Just like you guys don't talk about politics,
right? Well, we try not to when it's like a Christmas dinner or a Thanksgiving dinner because it could just bring more chaos into the conversation and into the family. So like I said, it's a hot topic, especially in the US. But now jumping back to France, let's find out more. It says, however, previous developments in the US raised concerns about the topic. There, everyone, we see the word previous, and previous means happening or existing before something else. Example sentence I could say would be, I learned a lot from my previous teacher.
Previous 这个形容词呢，指的就是先前的。
So the concern this article is talking about is what's happening in the US. Okay, so our article tells us in 2022, Roe versus Wade, a ruling which had legalized abortion in the US in 1973, was overturned.
好，这句里头呢有很多我们不熟悉的字，我们一个一个来看。首先呢，这个 ruling 好，这个名词指的是判决跟裁决。那 overturn 这个动词是推翻、撤销、使无效。使什么无效呢？就是使法律裁决无效。那在这边呢是做被动，所以说的是这项在1973年将堕胎合法化的裁决，在2022年的时候是被撤销的。那我们这边来补充一下，这个刚刚 Adam 念到的 Roe versus Wade， 这个是罗素韦德案。那这个案件呢，是源于一名美国德州的女性，因为不符合当地严格的堕胎法，而化名 Jane Roe 提起诉讼。那当时呢，代表对立方的德州检察官就是 Henry Wade。那本案呢，在1973年的时候的判决是认定女性堕胎选择受宪法隐私权的保障，因而呢，州政府是无权全面禁止堕胎的。
Okay, so what does this mean with this overturning of Roe v. Wade, or you could say Roe versus Wade, both are okay. It means, it says our article tells us, this means now each state in the US can make abortion illegal again.
对，这项裁决呢被撤销，那就代表一件事情，也就是现在美国的州政府，每一州的政府都有权利可以让这个堕胎变成非法的行为。So why was it overturned in 2022?
Well, that's a good question, and I think a lot of people are still asking that same question. But to give you a short overview, it was overturned because the Supreme Court justices thought the original decision was wrong and that the issue should be decided by each state. They believe the Constitution doesn't mention a right to abortion.
Oh, so they think it's not a constitutional right.
Right, exactly. And continuing with our article, it says the overturn led to appeals for more security for abortion rights in France, which in turn resulted in the change. So there we see the phrase led to something, which means to cause something to happen. We also see in that sentence appeal, and it's an urgent request for something important. So you appeal for something usually. An example we could say is, the charity made an appeal for donations to help flood victims.
好，我们整理一下哦。我们首先看到句子里面的 led to， 好，这个片语它的原形动词是 lead。lead 是它的三态。那 lead to something 就是促成，就是导致的意思。那另外还有 appeal for something， 这个 appeal 代表的是对某事物的呼吁或是恳请。那我们还看到了 security 这个名词。What does it mean?
Well, security, they appealed for more security, which means protection from bad things that could happen to you or to, the government or to the populace, the population. So an example we could use for security would be the new law will provide basic security for employees by ensuring fair wages and safe working conditions.Security
这个名词就是安全或是保障，那它的这个形容词是 secure。那另外呢，还有一个片语我们要接下来继续看咯，就是 in turn。
Right, in turn is as a result of something. So because of this overturn, this led to the appeals, which gave more security for abortion rights, and then which in turn, as a result of something, resulted in something.Which means we see to cause something to happen.
所以 in turn 这个片语是因此或是继而出现的后面的结果。那 result in something 就是导致，就是造成。所以课文说到美国判决的推翻导致法国呼吁加强对堕胎权的保障，这反过来又促成了法国这一次的变革。
Okay, well, jumping back in, it says, the change makes abortion a basic human right.Protecting it from easy changes by future governments. So what does that mean? A future government or a future leader can't come in there and say, hey, we're going to make abortions illegal again or something like that.
Don't you think America should follow suit?
Well, American's complicated because there's a lot of religious aspects to abortions and maybe also scientifics in regards to what is considered a human. So those are kind of the debates that are being had in the U.S. At what point is a baby inside, what we would call a fetus? At what point is it a human life? And at what point are you taking a human life by having an abortion? So yes, I think I agree with you, and I think France is doing the right thing, but let's find out why they're doing it as well. Because it really can be a health concern. So jumping back into our article, everyone, it says, it is also expected to promote safe and legal abortion services.
OK, 所以这也是有望促进这个安全还有合法的堕胎服务。
And this is important because within the U.S., when they made it illegal in some states, now you have people that are not going to doctors to get abortions. They're trying to go to maybe, lower clinics that maybe aren't even doctors there that are giving them medicine that they don't know that they're taking or if it's, something dangerous. So this way, at least they have the safe services and healthy ways to, I guess, perform an abortion. Our article then continues by saying, this move is viewed as a giant leap toward protecting women's reproductive rights in France and around the world. There we see leap, which leap is a sudden change from one thing to another, very fast progress with something. So an example sentence we could use would be, there was a leap in technology when smartphones were invented.
Leap 这边是名词的使用方式哦，指的是思维方式或是行为的骤变。那 leap 后面加上副词或是介系词，再接上 something， 指的就是某方面的骤变。那这边还有一个形容词是 reproductive， 它是生育的、繁殖的，形容后面的 rights， 也就是权利。所以课文说到啊，这个此举被视为是保护法国及全球妇女生育权的一大进步。
Okay, and our article finishes off by saying it sends a clear message that women have the right to control their bodies. There we see the phrase send a message, which means if something that someone does or says sends a particular message, it has that meaning.
是的，也就是传达中心思想、主题或是讯息。所以课文后面呢，最后说到了这句话相当重要。他说啊，这个传达了一个明确的讯息，就是女性有权掌控自己的身体。Yes, we do.
All right. Well, this brings us to our chat question. And this whole article can be a little bit, from different points of view, can be controversial. So our For You chat question asks, do you think it's important to put abortion rights in the Constitution? Why or why not?
Of course, I do think it's important to put abortion rights in the Constitution. I think it should be a constitutional right.
All right. Well said.
Because, we women really need to control our bodies, and we have the right to do so, right? And what about you? What do you think?
Okay, yeah, I agree with what most you said. I think some people think it's important to protect those rights everywhere in the country so everyone has the same rules. Right? Others think that it should be up to each state in the U.S. to decide because people have different beliefs about maybe abortions. So I think it's important just to talk about it and understand different opinions to see and find the best way to handle it. So I don't think there is one clear-cut answer, but I do think that France has made a giant leap forward by setting up this constitutional right.
OK, 那同学们喜欢今天的主题吗？你还可以到空中家教和真人老师互动练习哦。So for English for You, this is Elsie.
And I'm Adam.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Historic. Lizzie is doing a report about her town's past, so she started by visiting all the historic places. Legal. The legal age to rent and drive a car can be different in each country. Make sure you check the requirements before you travel. Previous. Mark liked his current job as an artist more than he liked his previous job as a waiter. Appeal. Environmental groups have made a strong appeal for more protective laws for mountain areas due to recent forest fires. Security. The city government changed laws to improve the housing security for the poor. Leap. Most of the public think the new traffic laws are a leap in the right direction for improving road safety.
智慧小补帖
Abortion. Explicitly. Constitution. Ruling. Overturn.